Hello and welcome back to Phil's Monday Movie Review. I'm glad to be here and I'm glad that you're here. And my recommendation for today is Heat. Released in 1995, written and directed by Michael Mann, Heat is a crime drama and it happens to be one of my favorite crime/heist films of all time. Heat tells the story of Neil McCauley, played by Robert De Niro, and who is coordinating with a professional crew for his last final big score before he drives out into the sunset. At the same time, LAPD Lieutenant Vincent Hanna, played by Al Pacino, is on the hunt for Neil McCauley while also coping with his own personal life. Throughout the film, Hannah's wife progressively becomes a mess, to the point where she ends up cheating on Hanna. Also, his teenage daughter, played by a young Natalie Portman, goes through a big mental health crisis. However, regardless of their personal lives, both Hanna and McCauley keep a sense of mutual respect for one another. This is essentially a neo-noir crime drama about a hard-boiled cop who is looking for the talented bank robber, but both cop and robber acknowledge one another's drive, talent, and overall ruthlessness. I mentioned the two big dogs of Heat, Pacino and De Niro, but this movie is also packed with even more talent that light up the screen. You got Val Kilmer, who plays Chris Chirillis, Tom Sizemore, who takes on the role of Michael Cerrito, Ashley Judd plays Charlene, John Voight takes on the role of Nate, and you also got William Finkner, Danny Trejo, Hank Azaria, and Dennis Haysbert. You may know him famously as the Allstate guy. Are you in good hands? This film is packed with a powerful cast, but we need to talk about the real superstar of Heat, and that is director Michael Mann. Heat shows us how a movie is masterfully directed. Michael Mann crafted this crime film where we explore these characters, these intense characters, written inside a very intelligent script. Michael Mann shows us that he is one of those directors who can direct both intense drama and intense action. Whenever I talk to my friends about this movie, we usually bring up two scenes that go down in Heat. One is where Pacino and De Niro finally meet face to face in the diner and have an incredible conversation about being the best at what they do and how they don't know anything else. We see the two top players of this story kind of open up to one another and acknowledge a whole new level of respect for one another. The way I'm describing this scene just doesn't do it justice. It's one of those scenes in a film where you just have to experience it on your own as you're watching the film. And the second scene that fans of this movie usually talk about is, of course, that bank robbery scene that transitions into a massive downtown LA shootout. Look, I'm an action fan who loves a good shootout between the good guys and the bad guys. We've seen it in Western movies and so many other great action films in cinema. But this shootout scene between Robert De Niro and his crew versus Al Pacino and his fellow policemen is one of the most intense action scenes that lives in my head rent-free. The fact that 99% of this entire sequence has zero music is a bold but brilliant choice made by Michael Mann. We hear the roars of the gunfire, and we get an in-your-face look of all the total destruction as the characters are literally pushing themselves out of this hell that they're in. The cinematography by Dante Spinotti presented a stylistic noir-like approach, but keeping it realistic at the same time while we're diving further and further into this LA crime underworld. What I love about the camera work is that there's a lot of use of the telephoto lens. It makes me feel like we're on the stakeout with Pacino and with De Niro, and we, the audience, are also scoping into the lives of both sides of the operation. The stylistic approach managed to present a gritty atmosphere with an attention to realism. Total film noir. Guys, Heat is an incredible film, and in my opinion, I think it's one of the best crime films ever made. Recently, I finally watched Michael Mann's Thief with the late James Caan for the first time, and I can see where Heat got its gritty atmosphere, artful visuals, and immaculate storytelling. Heat is a film that doesn't have a complex story. It's just one of the best cops and robbers films ever made. What I'm trying to say is Heat is cinema. And recently, I picked up Heat 2, also written by Michael Mann. And this is essentially a prequel so far. I'm only like 150 pages in, so I still got a long ways to go. But so far, it's really good, and it's really reminiscent of the same tone and atmosphere that the film Heat 1 I guess we can call it Heat 1 now, shows. So if you're a fan of Heat, so far I'm recommending Heat 2. I'm hearing that Michael Mann is going to be adapting this into a film. I'm very interested how that goes, because I still don't know the full story yet. But that is it for Phil's Monday movie review. I want to thank you for tuning in. Be on the lookout for next Monday where we talk about another movie. But until then, take care. Thanks for stopping by. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.